Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us and during our info session on the EU BIM for Building Renovation Competition. I am here sharing our agenda for today. So basically, today's session is about introducing you to the competition. We will introduce you to the BIMSpeed project, what it is about. We'll give you a short summarized explanation on how to register, what the competition goals are. After that, we will have a presentation about the platform that is to be used within the competition that you have to use. The competition is about collaborative space, and this will be presented by Nicola Pastorelli. After that, we will have the different pitches, short pitches on the tools that are to be used within the competition. You don't have to use all of them, but you only have to use one of them. But here you can have an introduction on what the tools are and how you can use them. So thank you again. I give you a warm welcome. And I'm going to hand over the floor to Agnieszka Lukaszewska from Fasada, who is the leader on the demonstrations of the BIM activities within the BIMSpeed project. She will give you an introduction on the BIMSpeed project. So Agnieszka, I hand over the floor to you.
Okay, thank you very much. So I have a pleasure to present you our project. Now it should be okay, so I hope you can see it.
Yes, we can see it. Okay.
So due to the fact that our both project and technical coordinators have over obligation, I have a pleasure to present you our project, BIMSpeed project. My name is Agnieszka and I'm representing a company named Fasada. We are the coordinator of the work package 8 related to the demonstration site. So BIMSpeed project, it's a 4-year research project. It is coordinated by Professor Timo Hartmann from Technical University of Berlin. The consortium is composed from 22 partners with quite high industry representation, but on board also we have excellent research organizations and associations that support us in dissemination and communication activities. The background for this project is the fact that the building sector accounts for 40% of energy consumption and around 36% of CO2 emissions. Moreover, most of our existing residential buildings have reached the age for their renovation. The main objectives of the project are to enable all stakeholders to adopt BIM to reduce the time of deep renovation projects by 30%, to develop BIM cloud platform tools and standardized procedures to create and implement renovation solution with a guaranteed energy performance. The vision of BIMSpeed is to create an ecosystem with different tools that work in various environments. Using a metaphor, our platform is similar to the circuit on which all cars can drive together, but they can also use various pit stops. The pit stops serve our tools. Our concept is to develop various tools that are available through the platform and that support main stages of the renovation process. So for the first step, when we are collecting the data and we are trying to understand what is the building performance as it is built, for instance, this step will be backed with the BIM passport, and BIM passport will help to assess the available data in terms of using BIM-based tools. Next step is the performance of the holistic assessment for analysis of various renovation solutions. And then we have and we will provide the tools for selection of the best renovation scenario and planning on the renovation activities. And we are end up with the tools that can be used during the maintenance process. Still, there is a lot of question about the goal of using BIM. Many people ask what concrete problems BIM may help to solve and what are the benefits. To address this issue in the BIMSpeed, we have developed a number of BIM use cases. In simple language, BIM use case tell us how the BIM can help in solving concrete problems during renovation process, what are the input information, what outputs we can also get. Important part of the project is also the assessment of the maturity level. Although the companies may look the same, they don't have the same experience and expertise when we talk about use of BIM. That's why important is to assess their readiness, maturity level to use BIM. And in our project, we are developing specific methodology for that. Our project also aims to ensure the interoperability between various tools. That's why we use ontologies as IFC or CTGML. BIMSpeed Platform is the heart of the project, and various BIM-based tools can be reached through this platform. My colleague Nicola explained you more later how the platform is working. In our project, we have 14 demonstration projects, renovation. Now we are in very important steps, so we are focusing on implementation of all our tools and methods on several demonstration cases across Europe. BIMSpeed has started all 3 years ago in 2018, and as you can see now, we are in the final year of the project. Building Renovation Competition has started a few months ago, and we would like to encourage everybody to participate in that. That's why, as my colleague told you before, today we will explain the main rules for the competition. So this last year is key for us because on one side, we are testing by ourselves all the tools and methods on the real demonstration project, but also we are really counting on the input achieved from the external user of the platform and tools. And only thanks to those two inputs and integration of those results, the platform really can be validated. So thank you very much. That's all for me.
Thank you very much, Agnieszka. Now we will proceed with a presentation on the BIMSpeed competition, as mentioned by Agnieszka already. You should be able to see the presentation now. Okay, so again, thank you everyone for joining. I'm Jasper Vermaat. I'm Policy and Project Officer at Riva, and Riva is together with the other umbrella organizations within BIMSpeed responsible for the coordination of the EU BIM for Building Renovation Competition. In this presentation, I will give you a bit of a crash course on what the competition is about. I will present you the objectives, the minimum requirements for the application of the competition. I will give you more details about the registration process, the deliverables that are to be submitted, and then very briefly about the jury, the awards, and also, of course, the timeline and the submission deadline. What are the objectives of the competition? It aims to engage both professionals and students active in the design and construction industry. We want them to present a residential renovation project that applies the BIM tools and methods developed by the BIMSpeed partners. The challenge here is to demonstrate the renovation project by using the BIMSpeed platform in a way that allows to both save energy for the occupants and improve their comfort, while it reduces the time and the cost of the overall project, the overall process. We have two categories here. One is for professionals who are invited to showcase their own renovation process and use the data of their own renovation process for the competition. And the other one is for students that are able to test out the BIM tools developed under BIMSpeed with the available data from a demonstration case that we provide them, which is available on the platform. So what are the minimum requirements for the application of the BIMSpeed competition? Quite simple. You go to the BIMSpeed website, to the competition page. You have to register as a team. This can be multidisciplinary, but doesn't have to be. This was earlier. This was a requirement, but we dropped this. Of course, it can still give you a bit of an edge in the end results if you have multidisciplinary teams which can look at it from different perspectives. As mentioned, the point is to demonstrate a project of the renovation of a residential building by using the BIM-SPEED platform. Yes.
Excuse me. I think we all see still the agenda and not the slides you are presenting.
My apologies. Okay, that should not be the case.
I don't know if it's on my side only, but obviously not.
That could be. Do you see it now?
Yeah, but we see in the PowerPoint, not the presentation screen. I think you're on the wrong screen. We see the PowerPoint in edition mode. Yeah, here it is.
You see it now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. My apologies for this. Yeah. So yes, that's okay. So here you have the competition objectives,
yes,
which I explained.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I will go on. I will just go on with the rest of the presentation. So yeah, you have to use at least. So you have to demonstrate a renovation project of a residential building by using a BIMSpeed platform and using at least one of the BIMSpeed tools that are available through the platform. It's open to different target groups, to architects, engineers, contractors, surveyors, and students with different backgrounds. I will give you a bit more details about the registration process. I will go over this quite quickly, but you can always rewatch this in the recording, which will be available on the competition page on the BIMSpeed website. Here are the steps already summarized. You need to create your account on the Crocky platform. You create your workspace and project in the platform, invite team members into your project, and then you enter your project into the competition on the platform. How you quickly do this very quite easily on the Crocky platform. You go to the Crocky platform website. You can easily create your accounts and register. Once you've registered and you've entered into the platform, you will see your workspaces. You will need to create your own workspace. You do this by going to create a new workspace and click on the click here button. Once you've created a workspace, you will see the following screen. You will see all the projects that you have within your workspace. You will need to create a project, which you do by clicking on the top right, create new project. And once you've done this, again, quite easy steps to follow, you will see your project appear here. And once that is done, you will need to add your team members. So you go again to the top right of the screen, click on create a user. You invite people into your workspace by adding the details, which you have to fill in, as you can see on the left side of the screen here of the presentation. In the next step, you will need to add them into your project. Once you've invited them into the workspace, you add them as a participant into the project. Again, quite easily, you click on the project, you add a participant, and you will see the people that you've invited into your workspace, and then you can add them into the project. Once you have your project ready and your team ready, you enter into the competition with your project. So you click on that project which you see in your workspace. Once you click on it, you will see a puzzle icon on the right center top of the screen. You click on it. You click on the BIMSpeed competition. You will see different services there, but you click on the BIMSpeed competition and you enter into the competition. It will give you will need to register, but and then once you've done that, you have registered into the competition. On the platform, you will be able to find relevant files on the link there. This is also easily to find within the platform. There you can find the reporting templates that you will need to submit the deliverables and all the other information relevant for the competition. You will, for the students, also important here on the platform, you can find it easily, but you can also see the direct link to it here is the data from the demonstration case that students can use to test out the tools within the competition. And then which deliverables do need to be submitted at the end? as briefly mentioned previously, there needs to be a report template filled in. This is available on the platform. You will need to answer different questions and describe your project. You will also need to give in an IFC file, which presents the final federated BIM model with the design proposal that you've worked on for your project, and then also some visual materials, at least an infographic on the results that you've managed to accomplish with the BIM tool or tools that you've used within your team. This will be, I will go quickly over this because I think I'm running out of time, but this will be assessed by our jury, who are experts and who have different backgrounds, but have a strong expertise with BIM tools and with BIM in general. They will assess this in the months of May and June, and after that, the winners will be known. What can the winners win? There will be an EU-wide exposure to the BIMSpeed professional groups and our dissemination channels. We have a strong audience with BIM experts. You can win a free educational license for BIM tools, a free license to the BIM platform. You will be able to present your renovation project during our award ceremony in September 2022, either at the EU Sustainable Energy Week or at Sustainable Places. A presentation of the renovation project at the ACE General Assembly. You will have the opportunity to have a featured article in the REWA Journal about your project. And architects, this is especially interesting for architect students, can win a mentorship with UN Studio. The timeline, the competition was launched in June 2021, and what's really needs to be mentioned here is that the submission deadline is in 25th of April, so that's in a bit more than a month. So that's why if you want to register, you should do so now. You still have time enough to work on the project. That's a month should definitely be sufficient, but you would have to start working on it now. So if there are any questions at the end, then you can always, then we will have a question and answers session later at the end of the session, at the end of this info session. Thank you very much. And I will hand over the floor now to Nicola Pastorelli, who will be presenting the BIMSpeed platform.
Okay. Let me share my screen. I think you need to release on your side so I can share, obviously. Thanks.
I think you should have now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you see my screen now?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So hello everyone. My name is Nicolas Pastorelli. I'm working at CSTB in France. And I will present you the platform, the core platform, which is integrating all the services in a BIMSpeed project. So what I will present you in these 10 minutes is the core of a platform, the core of a project, which is managing the data around different services. So we can manage files. There is a store, which makes it possible to integrate different package of services, and the BIMSpeed competition service as well, which was presented by Jasper a few minutes ago. We've got some automations around the folder, which I will show you, and a file naming convention service. This is an example which I will show you in the next session as well. So this platform is at the center, and as Agnieszka stated earlier, with the BIMSpeed project, we have integrated a different set of services around this central platform, and the data can flow from inside through the services and be back in the platform in order to promote some collaboration. So we have services dedicated to collecting the data, the initial data about the renovation process. We have services which will be integrated about the BIM passports. We have a set of services dedicated to calibration, to improve calibration in regard to improve later simulations, kind of simulation tools which are available with the platform. We are working on an overall dashboard which is being finalized. And you can integrate through the platform as well some solutions to help you and guide you around renovation strategies like BIM execution plans or multi-criteria decision tools which will be proposed with the platform. So some of these services will be presented to you later. I will focus on the center of the platform, which is the place where you can put the documents and get access to the services. At this point, I have to say that the BIMSpeed platform is actually a subset or an extension of a Croquis platform which was pre-existing. This is a French platform which was created and promoted by the French state in order to promote BIM in France for SMEs and bigger companies as well. And with the BIMSpeed project, we have extended this platform with the new services and new features. So what can you expect for regarding collaboration with this platform? First of all, you've got a centralized document management, which is something like any drive that you can find as performance, and maybe better because it's hosted in France than in Europe. So it's the equivalent of Google Drive or Dropbox or something like that, if you want to make it short. So what you can do here is that you can manage your users. You can invite anyone you want. You can monitor the level of access in every folder. You have management document versioning. Anytime you upload a document, it's versioned. You can make comments on document. You can have secure sharing. You can create simple workflows. So ask someone to validate a document for you in a specific folder. You can view online the most relevant, most existing formats. You can edit Word. You can view PDF or pictures directly online without downloading them. And you can install a file sharing application, which is installed locally on your machine and which is synchronizing your local drives with the drives in the cloud. Regarding collaboration, you get a set of other collaboration services which are integrated directly inside the platform. So for every project that you will create, you have a discussion thread and chats, which would be the equivalent of Slack, for instance, if you want to use it. You've got an integrated video conferencing, meaning that if you want to exchange with guys in the project, you don't have to go to Jitsi or Teams or whatever. It's directly integrated in the platform. You can trigger a video conference. You can manage tasks in the way Trello does it. And you can organize meeting and in a calendar or propose some dates and set up a specific meeting like you do with Doodle. But all of this is integrated in one application, which makes it easier for the team. And you have a central authentication system, which makes it possible for you to connect to one or several accounts without having to recreate a login and password every time. On the top of that, you've got some integrated services which were provided already by the Croquis platform. So you got the file naming convention, which I will present to you later as an example of integrated services. And you've got also a viewer, which is a laptop application, which is named EU BIM, which you can download and install to view and annotate your BIM models if you want. And of course, on the top of that, we have added several BIMSpeed services, which are the one that you have showed around the core of the platform and which will be presented later. Just a quick summary of what Jasper presented you earlier in more detail. If you want to participate to use this platform and participate in BIMSpeed competition, first of all, you need to create an account on the Croquis.fr platform, but we have an English interface, so it's international if you want to use it. It's not in French only. You have to create a Croquis workspace. So usually you create the name of your team or the name of your company .croquis.fr. So it's free. You can do it. So it's the name of your team .croquis.fr. And then once you have an account, you create a Croquis project, and from there you enroll the competition the way that was presented earlier, and then you can use and leverage the BIMSpeed services in order to create your project. So let's take a look at a quick demo about the platform here. This is the way the platform looks. Okay, you've got the interface with your own the name of your own company here if you have created a workspace. On the left side here, you've got a summary where you can search from documents. You can see all the latest notifications about what happened in the platform. you can manage your contacts, you can make video conference, and you have more communication tools here which you can do. In my work section, you can see all the tasks and all the calendar or invitations that you have. So tackle everything which is related with task management and meeting organization. And then you can see the different projects that you have, the different workspace we are connected to. Right now, I am invited inside the BIMSpeed platform, but with the same login, I am contributing to different other platforms, so I can get connected to them, and I can lively chat with my partners here in my current project. So in this account, I've got several projects available. I will take a look in one of them. You can see that it's branded BIMSpeed because I was enrolled in BIMSpeed competition. When I enter a project, you've got the different, you've got the Slack here if you want to discuss, you've got the document, the tasks and the agenda, some summary of the activity and the services. If I take a look at the services, you can see that you have several of them. And what I wanted to show to you is that there is a workflow toolbox which you can trigger in order to instantiate the BIMSpeed renovation folder structure, which will help you to create a renovation project. So as soon as I am triggering this folder structure, I get all the files dedicated to BIMSpeed competition. And I've got some other files also which are provided, like for instance, key performance indicator, Excel, which helps me to monitor my BIM projects. Everything is created and applied to your current project. So you've got some kind of scaffolding of what you can use in order to lead your renovation project. So right now the folder is being applied to my project, the folder structure. Then if I go back in my documents, which were empty when I created at first my renovation project, now I've got all the structures with all the relevant documents, for instance, to take a look at how the competition is working, or I can retrieve my Excel file here, which is provided to get some explanation about my BIM project. So let's take an example about how to trigger services. In that case, I am uploading an IFC file in my BIM model for renovation, assuming that I have acquired my my initial IFC, or maybe I've got some pre-existing IFC files. If I want to trigger BIMSpeed services on one IFC file, it's very easy. I click on the file itself, I trigger the services, and I've got a list of all the BIMSpeed services which can be triggered on IFC files. For the sake of demonstration, I will trigger one of them, the Mereen service, which is actually leveraging an IFC file to extract the location, and from the location is proposing to download all the relevant weather data so you can use them for initial simulation, for instance. In that case, this was a Victoria site in Spain. With this service, I can choose the year of extraction. Let's say, I would say the year 2020, and I can choose my exportation type of data. So I want to EPW format. Then I click on extract, and it is extracting all the relevant weather data zipped in my current collaboration folder. So here, this was an example of how the BIMSpeed platform is behaving. For every file that you import inside this very easy to use file management system, you click on the button here to trigger services, and from the IFC you can leverage different services from the BIMSpeed platform. So a quick summary here. If you want to use the BIMSpeed platform, you need first of all to create a workspace at the name of your company or the name of your team. Then you can create different projects. Once you have created a project, you can trigger with the icon, the services, with the services icon, you can trigger the list of the different BIMSpeed services. Among them, we encourage you to, of course, first of all, trigger the BIMSpeed competition service, so you can enroll the competition and get access to all the BIMSpeed services. Then you can trigger the workflow toolbox in order to get access to the renovation dedicated folder structure with a predefined content, and then trigger that so that you can have all the files created and you can work on them. And finally, then inside these folders, when you drop IFC files or other types of files, you can trigger the different services, which once again will be presented later. So our intention here is to actually break some kind of monopoly inside the architectural, engineering, and construction industry, because you don't have to use in this project the tools from one vendor and one only vendor. So we want to create a platform where you have different producers, so which are the different partners of BIMSpeed platform, and the consumers that you are can leverage a platform here to trigger all these services and share documents and use this platform to share documents between the different services and create your renovation platform. So what you have here is a renovation combo tools that you can leverage once you have created the BIMSpeed platform and that you use it during the competition. Okay, that's it for the presentation, and I'll be available for questions which are taken later, I guess.
Yeah, the questions can indeed be taken at the end of the session. Now we will move on to the innovation pitches, which about the tools that you can use within the competition and through the platform. We will start with the file name convention, which again will be presented by Nicolas. We will in total present 7 tools. There will be 5 minutes each, usually around 5 minutes. So yeah, Nicolas, I hand over the floor to you for the file name convention. And thank you for the clear presentation before.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't remember that I could keep the floor. Okay, do you see my screen? Yes?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, you have seen that with the platform, you've got several companion tools that you can leverage. I will present one of them, which is a file naming convention. It will be very quick and very helpful, I guess. So the platform I just presented you earlier is a platform which is meant to be easy to use, as easy as if you were using, once again, Dropbox or Google Drive, or things where you exchange documents and you manage the sharing of these documents very, very easily. And usually when you do that, you collaborate with your teams, meaning that, for instance, you are an engineer and you put an IFC or Word documents, and one other person is getting connected and edit at the same time the same document in the same central place, so that it's easy for you to collaborate and create a final version of it. But usually, especially in the construction sector, when you want to deliver or to make your work validated by a BIM manager or someone in your team, usually when you deliver, it's different, because you've got some conventions, especially in the name of the documents. So if I drop my test.ifc file here in the delivery folder, it would be nice to be able to say that everything which is delivered here has to be named according to a specific specification. In that case, we have created a service which makes it possible to check the name of a file here, so that if it is not matching one naming convention, you get alerted and you can rename the documents so that it is really fitting with what was expected by the project manager. So let's take a quick example of how it is working. Once again, I'm here in my Croquis platform, which is the BIMSpeed platform in this case. From the small puzzle here, you can see that you've got several tools. Among them, you've got the file naming convention that you have seen. And what I want to do is that I want to activate this file naming convention service on one folder. So actually here, instead of triggering the service on one file, I will trigger the service on one specific folder. So I'm using the 3 dots here to trigger the access to services icon. And here I will choose by file naming convention management service. And in that case, I have already activated the naming convention on that specific folder here. And I've got a specific demo naming rule which is activated. And actually my file should be named with something like one of these work packages name, one of the name of the collaborators here, and 1 or 2 characters around that. So it should be named something like work package 1/TUB/A, for instance. This is a valid name, okay? So this is how the convention works, and it makes it possible to you to edit and create this kind of management. So you've got a rule. If you are manager of a Croquis platform, when you created your own account, you are able to manage the rules, the naming rules. So in that case here, you can see that by demo naming rules, it's actually as a separator, which is a dash here. And I've got a list of web packages, a list of consortium names, and a list, and I can have between 1 or 2 characters here provided as a name. Okay, this is how I create a specific rule convention. So let's create a new one. When I create a naming rule, I can provide a name, choose a separator, and then I can create either a number of characters, a range of numbers, or a specific list in my name. So in that case, I create a new convention with 1 or 2 characters, a range between 1, 2, or 3 letters after that, and then a consortium name just behind that. Okay, so you can compose the name with lists. So you have to create this list. It's very easy. When you want to create a list, you click on the button add a list, you name this list like consortium, and you separate the different elements with a simple comma. So in that case, I've put all the names of the partners of the BIMSpeed project as an example. Okay, so this is how you define rules, and you will be able to see that slower with the recording. Now I want to trigger rules on a specific folder. I can deactivate the rule as well if I want in that file naming convention. So right now the convention is activated in that folder. So if I drop a new file here, let's say I will drop this fake.ifc here. It's uploaded on the platform, but now the platform is verifying if this file is well written, if this name is well written, and we see that it's not valid. Okay, it's invalid. So I can trigger on that file now the naming convention in order to rename my file, which is badly named, right? So it's telling me that the actual convention is this one and proposing me a box here to rename this document. So I've got a choice between all the name from the list. So I will choose W package 3 from ERA, and I will add two names. I can check the name. This name is very valid here. So I can rename my file, and now the file is modified and checked again, and I've got a valid name for my file here. So very quickly, this was the idea, is that the collaboration is very permissive, because when we collaborate, we want to be very easy to create and share documents. But once we want to deliver, we can activate a file naming convention to validate the name of the file and make it easier to once again deliver files which are compliant with a certain convention. And that's it on my side.
Thank you once again, Nicolas. Then I will hand over the floor to Mereen Services from the Technical University of Berlin, who will introduce two tools that can be used on the platform, being the Mereen Services and the GIS data provider. Mereen, you have the floor.
I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
So hello everyone. My name is Mereen Services. I work in Technical University of Berlin. Today I will be introducing you to the two of the tools developed within BIM-SPEED project about collecting surrounding geospatial and environmental data. The tools are called Mereen Weather Service and GIS Data Provider Service. In general, we think that it's important to collect surrounding geospatial and weather data because the building is located in an urban context and it gets affected by the features in the surrounding. And it's important to see the building in a higher level in another scale. On the other hand, weather data is an important input in building energy modeling, and accuracy of the weather data affects the accuracy of the energy simulation process. Mereen Weather Service helps you to collect historical actual weather data, and GIS Data Provider Service helps to collect surrounding built and natural environment data. And these two data sets can help you in different use cases within building renovation, including site planning, building energy modeling, and acoustic air quality, thermal and visual comfort analysis. So Mereen Service provides ready-to-use weather data for BIM simulations. It's a fully operational web service which reads a BIM object, an IFC file, which includes the GPS location of the building, and returns back the data from the nearest weather station. At the moment, it's connected to BIMSpeed Platform, but also it's fully functional from a map. It's possible to select any weather station from a map and download data from there. It provides data in EPW file format, so it can be used directly in Energy Plus, one of the most popular energy simulation softwares. It's important to collect these data sets in a reliable way, so data quality is important, and Mereen Service also runs the diagnosis of data quality of the stations in order to select the nearest station and provide the valid data sets. At the moment, it's also available for 15 years, very recent weather data from 15 years, from 2006 from 2005-6 to 2020, for more than 5,000 weather stations across Europe. Nicholas already showed you very quickly how you can access to this service from BIMSpeed platform. I go into more details of that. From your workspace, from your project, you need to open the access to services from the menu beside the IFC file. It's important that your IFC file includes the exact GPS location of the building, because the service, when you click on here from Mereen Service, when you click on go to the service, it extracts the nearest weather station from this information embedded in the IFC file. So if I just click on the go to the service, I can see that it retrieves this information from the IFC file and returns the weather station which is nearest to this building. So this page includes information about from which sources this, because the service combines different data from different sources. So it gives you some information about the data validity coming from different sources, the ending date and the starting date, and so on. In this page, if you scroll down, you can see that you can select your time period that you want to collect the data for. You can select one calendar year, or you can select the starting ending date, or selecting valid date, or all available, because as I mentioned, the service also runs a validity check on the data. Also, if you scroll down, you can select the data format that you want to download the data. So we can download the data in EPW format. And by clicking on export, it actually exports the data in the same folder of the IFC file in your project workspace. And if you download this zip file, you can see that it includes information about the variables in the data in the file, but also the station information. And the weather data itself is an EPW format, which can be directly used in Energy Plus software for running simulation. And as I mentioned, this data provided from this service is actually actual weather data, so you can use it for calibrating your renovation scenarios and so on. The next service is JS Data Provider Service. In general, it's important to know about the context of the building. So, for instance, you can see in these maps that the building is located close to the roads, railways. There are some surrounding buildings, surrounding vegetation. The building is located in an historical area, and this kind of information in these maps needs to have some reliable data sets in the background. So in order for you to have these maps, you need to have reliable data sets coming from municipalities. This service actually helps to collect these data sets. On the other hand, it's important that you have a knowledge framework in order to collect those data sets which are required for your specific use case, because geospatial domain is a broad topic, and you cannot just collect any kind of information which are available from this domain. It's important that you can collect only those which are relevant for your activity. This part also is embedded in the service as well. So this service provides two-dimensional geospatial data. It's actually a web service that is also extract information of the GPS location of the building from the BIM object, from the IFC file. It's also connected to the BIMSpeed platform. It provides data in two-dimensional data in shapefile and GML format. And the quality of the data is dependent on the quality of the data provided by the municipality, because it directly retrieves this data from services provided from municipalities. Unfortunately, this service is only available at the moment for Berlin city. It's not working for any other city across Europe. From the same procedure actually works here for connecting to this service. From the IFC file of your project, you can click on access to service. Among the services that you have, you see JS Data Provider service. If I click on go to this service, it gives me some information about this service and the extract features. You can see that there's a map that shows you the building, the location of the building on the map. If the IFC file doesn't include the exact location of the building, you could also change this cursor in order to bring it to the correct place, the correct location of the building. Another important thing is that here you can select the radius around the building to define what is the buffer that you want to collect the data for. By clicking on next step, you see different use cases, and this is actually the part which includes the knowledge framework in order to see what kind of data you need to collect from the surrounding. For instance, for site planning, I can see a list. If I check any of these data sets, I can go to the next step and download it either in my local machine or in the same folder as the IFC file. So this service only helps you to collect these data sets. The next step is visualizing. So the user needs to have some expertise for cartography and GIS visualization and so on. But at the end, what is important is that these maps can help you in order to extract some knowledge from the surrounding of the building. For instance, if you can see this map, it shows you that you need to think about doing some acoustic analysis because there are some roads and railways in the surrounding of the building, or you need to consider for the shading effect of surrounding obstacles, or the building is located in very close to the airport. So if you want to do data collection by using drone, you need to check regulation for flight, or the building is located in an historical area, you need to check the regulation for construction in this area. This kind of information can be helpful for doing different use cases, and one of them is actually the site planning. But as I mentioned, this part, the interpretation of data is the experts' expertise, and it depends on the experts' expertise and responsibility. That's from my side. I hope it was interesting for you.
Thank you very much, Mariam. We will move on to the next tool, which is the 3D tool, which will be represented by our partners from Cartif. I think first it will be Sonia Alvarez who will be doing the presentation, and then Javier Roman will be taking it over. Sonia, the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Sonia. I'm working in Cartif in Spain, and I'm going to show you how to access to the 3D tool. I'm going to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So this is the first step. Later, my colleague Javier Roman will explain you how to use the 3D tool. First, you need a point cloud of your project and in a valid format. In this case, PTS is a valid format for the tool. And here you have to access to the service and start the 3D tool. This part, you have to select this agreement and download the tool. This tool is a plugin for Revit. I'm going to show you here the file. Now it's ready. And here, sorry. I don't know what happened. One moment, please. Okay. In this file, you have 3 files: the add-in, and 2 files to explain where you have to install the plugin. And in this case, this is a demo version of the tool, but my colleague Javier Roman will explain you more in detail the license of this tool and how to use it. So for my side, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, hi, this is Javier from Cartif, and now I'll show you how this 3D tool works. And can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So this 3D tool, the first thing I should mention is that it automatically detects and creates BIM entities directly in Revit from 3D point clouds. The format can be PTX, PTS, and PLY formats that are acquired by laser scanning or photogrammetry systems. And yes, about the installation, you have to copy this installation pack in this path under this folder. That is Program Data Autodesk Revit Add-ins 2021, because this is for the 2021 version of the Revit application. And you have to pay directly all the files in this BIMSpeed folder. So it's quite straightforward. And about the license, this license file has to be generated here in Cartif. You can run this add-in in trial version, but it will appear on a screen with a code that you have to send us so we can generate this license file. So having said that, here I have the Revit application, and then in the ribbon under you have installed correctly this application, this add-in, excuse me. In the ribbon under the add-in folder, you'll have this this new icon, and now I can click here. And as you can see, I've been running the full version of the plugin, and it says that there is still remaining time. And now about the plugin and how it works. Now I can select the point cloud that I want to process. I'll be using today a PTS file, namely Arcaya. And as you can see in this new screen, I can see the loaded point cloud. I can close this if it's is correctly loaded. And as you can see, now I can see the number of points of the cloud and other different parameters of the cloud. Now I click next, and in this pre-process form, I can select different parameters. For example, this down sampling is about the number of points that the add-in is going to use internally to speed up the process. Higher value of this size means that you are going to use a less number of points. And this filtering step is about removing not number points and incorrect data. I can load also different profiles, predefined profiles. I have this Arcaya profile. And once I have selected all these parameters, I can pre-process the loaded cloud. So as you can see, I have here the filtered and downsampled cloud. And if I want to change all the parameters, I can, for example, select this left side and increase this value, pre-process again. And as you can see, there is less points in the final cloud that I'm going to use. So again, I'm going to load this Arcaya configuration file. I'll pre-process again. And I can show you that now I have this number of final points. Yeah. In this new form, in the segmentation form, I can select different parameters that are related to the segmentation process, and I want to show you what is this about. So as you can see in different colors, I have the different segments that the algorithm has detected automatically, and these parameters are related to the number of points that a segment has to have to be considered as a valid segment, for example, and how aggressive the segmentation process is. So if this step is completed, I can click in next, and we go to this new form, this analysis form, where we try to detect the different planes that are present in this point cloud. So again, I'm going to load the defined profile and click on Analyze. And in red, the tool has detected all the planes that are present in this point cloud. So again, I can close this, and as you can see, the plugin has detected 28 planes. Click Next. And this is the parameterization process. The form allows you to set different parameters about, for example, the normalization of the detected plane. Than a certain value and so on. So I'm going to parameterize the different planes detected. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. The tool has detected these planes and parameterized them, and now I can click on Next. And finally, I can select the type of wall that is going to be generated in Revit. For example, this interior type, the width of the wall, and I can click Finish, and this is the last step of the processing workflow. So now, as you can see here in this 3D view, the plugin has automatically generated a number of walls directly in Revit. So yeah, this is the whole process workflow, and that's all from my side.
Thank you very much, Sonia and Javier. We will move on. Our partners at Stress will show a video about the BIMSpeed library, a short video which introduces it. If I understood correctly, there is no audio, but it is with subtitles, so it should be quite easy to follow. Javier, I think you should be able to share it.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to share the screen. Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see the video.
Okay. Great. Actually, what we have done, the tool that we have developed is a library of, let's say, deep renovation objects. So the objects that, the components that are mainly used for deep renovation. So they include they are components for the envelope of the building, plus the HVAC systems and the domestic hot water system. The library includes the information for performing energy performance assessment and also sustainability assessment. We have prepared here a video, and I'm going to show you it to you so that we can understand which are the main features of the library and what we can do with this library. So I can I start the video. So here you can see that this is the platform of the BIMSpeed library. Here there are some general information on the project, on the BIMSpeed, what kind of data and files are included, what kind of components are included. and here last published elements. Here for the let's say for the components, you can see that there are these categories: the materials, the panel rolls, facade, ventilated facade, and others like water heating system, and others, as said before. They are grouped into that three main groups: the envelope, the HVAC, and the DH, domestic hot water. So you can go up in the Explore catalog here, and by clicking on this, you can see all the list of elements that are included. So you can also have make a filter, so you can choose by the category. Here you cannot see the options, but then you will see it later in the video. So here we selected the ventilated facade, and we selected one of these. And here you can see all the information for the energy performance, LCA and CLC. Then also for the water heating systems, here there are the list of products. By clicking on one of them, you can see all the information that are included. Here what you can do is that if you so let's go in to one general element. Here you can see the information that are included. So for what we have done is to collect the information for the energy the information of the energy package, which of course depends on the element category typology. So for this, which is a panel, we have collected all this information about resistance, conductivity, thermal resistance, and others. Then we have collected the LCA data, which are the ones which are related to the environmental impacts of 1 square meter of this element. So here we have a list of environmental impacts, and then in the LCC package we have included some information, the ones that were available for considering as functional units, so the euros per square meters. Here, if we go to the files, you can see and download the files just if you are registered to the platform. So by now, you since it's a generic user, you cannot see the files and nor download it. So you can log in, go to the login page, and by logging it, you can do several things. Here, this is the page that is open once you log in. So you can add a new element. You can see your elements and explore the catalog. Indeed, if you are registered, you can contribute to enlarge the database. For example, here you can see some elements that have been previously included. Okay, here you can see the catalog, and you can visualize your own objects. So once you open one of these, for example, you have a draft element. Once you click on this, this is the page that it's opened. You can visualize the element, and you can also, if it's a draft, you can modify it, and let's of course submit it to review by the administrator. So you can add the new element by manual data filling or by an automatic data filling. Here you have a wizard on the right that gives you all the steps for creating the data set. If you make the automatic data, you add the IFC file, and then it goes to the same wizard in order to, of course, enhance the information. Okay, another important feature of the database is the IFC management, the enhancing functionality. Indeed, what we can do, if we, okay, here we go to the Explore catalog, we visualize one of the components, and we go to the files. Here you see that here, once you are login, you can download the file. And here you can see that there is an IFC and one enhanced IFC. Because for the IFC is the ones that was available at the beginning. Actually, it's sometimes available by the producer. The enhanced IFC is the IFC with our data, with the data that we have added. So we can visualize the difference between the two IFC files here by downloading the first IFC. Here you can see that there are just general information, let's say some, it's not a completed IFC. Here instead we can visualize some other information, which are the ones that are included in the database, such as the general information, the energy performance of information, the LCA and the LCC information. So it's the IFC with enhanced functionality. Finally, yes, we can integrate this with Croki. So once you are logging in Croki, and you can go to a general project. For example, we go to the Frigento project. If you click on the external services, you can see all the possible tools. If you click on the service of the BIMSpeed library, you can enter the database, and you can explore the catalog, and you can select here the category or the type or whatever, and so you can visualize the panels, the objects. Of course, you have to download to log in, and in the files you can download the file here. Actually, the important thing now is that if you visualize the database within one folder, so here you right click access to external services, you click on the BIMSpeed library, and then if you go to a general object and go to the files, you can see that you can download to Croki that file, so you can successfully save the IFC here inside the. It was quite fast, but within the folder you can see that actually this is the panel here that was downloaded before. That's it. This is the website of the BIMSpeed library.
Thank you very much, Maria. I think we should move on right away to Pablo Gilabert, who will present the BIMServer.center. Pablo, you should.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Be able to share. Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. Well, hello everyone. My name is Pablo Gilabert. I am the Innovation Director at SIPE. And first of all, I would like to make a short introduction about my company. SIPE is a Spanish company focused on software development for architecture, engineering, and construction professionals. You have here some global numbers of my company, but let's go straight to the point. Today, we are going to talk about BIM, but I'm sure you have already seen a lot of presentations about this methodology, and I'm sure you have already seen some of these slides talking about the dimensions, LOGs, and different phases. I would like to give you another point of view from the software perspective, and trying to talk about the negative points or the main challenges of implementing BIM in our offices. If we focus on BIM software, we can say that generally the BIM software is quite complex, so we have to invest a lot of time and money to learn how they work. But also, once we have started working with BIM, we can identify that there is a lack of interoperability between different platforms. And this is a huge problem because it's almost impossible to develop a project just with one platform. We have to exchange data between different tools. And maybe the most important problem is that most of the BIM applications are quite expensive, and not all the different offices can afford paying a lot of money per year to access to these BIM applications. This is something that we have tried to solve from the BIM-SPEED Platform, but also from BIMServer.center. And I will focus in this second platform, BIMServer.center. A short summary about BIMServer.center. BIMServer includes different services. It has a kind of application market, but also is a CDE, common data environment. We are trying to create a kind of professional network to develop collaborative projects in an efficient way. So here in BIMServer.center, we can access for free, of course. And here we will be able to manage all our different projects from just one place, BIMServer. But also we can download more than 150 applications connected to the platform. Something quite interesting is that almost half of them are free. So we can start working and developing BIM projects without paying anything. Another point of view, another point I would like to share is, I think in 3-4 years, we launched the platform. We have more than 100,000 users and more than 330,000 BIM projects, which is a lot. So there are a lot of people working in BIM with BIM technology in a collaborative way. Let's try to explain how it works. Well, the idea is trying to make a project simple. You know, a project is a complex process. And if we try to join all the different areas in just one tool, it's going to be a really complex, as I told you before. What we have tried to do is, okay, let's split this complex process in simple tasks. Simple tasks supported by specific applications. One application for structures, another for energy analysis, another for, I don't know, whatever. The idea is, okay, let's work in a collaborative way with specific applications working simultaneously, sharing data. How we are doing that with open data, open formats like IFC, GLTF, BCF, and some others. So this is how the platform is going to work. The idea is we have implemented algorithms in order to be more efficient. So let's give you an example. In a general project, we describe a wall, the composition of a wall 20 times, you know, in the definition of the budget, in the definition of energy analysis, acoustic analysis, etc. The idea of this platform is trying to exchange data automatically. So if I'm going to make an energy analysis, I will get information from the model of the building services with the HVAC data from the, I don't know, the lighting model or whatever. Here in this platform, you will find another type of applications, and we are trying to cover new areas like this one, Open BIM COVID-19, to avoid the spread of COVID-19. I don't know, rebar design, connections of steel and wood structures, timber structures, fire dynamic simulation, accessibility, urbanism, quality control, health and safety, even arriving to this level of detail, the switchboard, or this other scale, you know, city scale. You will be able to find a lot of different applications and download and play, but you need to know the applications we have been focusing in BIMSpeed. If you want to work in this project, you will have to download the solution we have, BIMSpeed to BIMServer, in order to make a connection between these two platforms. So how it works? So we have a project in BIMSpeed platform, and then we want to start making some kind of analysis, let's say energy analysis. We have this tool in order to make the connection between the project of BIMSpeed and the project of BIMServer. So we can start working in parallel with both platforms. Let's focus on this part, energy analysis. If we want to import an IFC open format, open model from any kind of, you know, the what we call Big Brothers tools, the Revit, ArchiCAD, Outplan, we will get a raw IFC. So this IFC doesn't include all the data we need to make an energy, a deep, detailed energy analysis. What we have done in BIMSpeed is we have generated two different tools, Open BIM Analytical Model and Open BIM Construction Systems, to include a new layer with this extra information. This is quite important to consider thermal breaches. This information generally is not included in the IFC. So how it works? We create an IFC, we include new data in a new IFC, and then from the BIM analysis tools are able to read this data. You know, if we don't want to pay to follow this workflow, we have another tool, which is SciPy Architecture, which is a tool for BIM design for free. So there is another option there. Then we will arrive to this tool, SciPy E+, to calculate the demand and consumption of our buildings. Here, what we have done is integrating in a graphical user interface one of the most powerful calculation engines, which is E+, Energy Plus. So here we are going to see the BIM model. We will have to describe, you know, how is the real behavior of the different parts of the building, rooms or whatever, and we will get some reports to help us to optimize the design of our building. I'm not going to explain to you how it works, but we have a lot of information in our YouTube channel, BIMSpeed YouTube channel, so I will invite you to have a look there. And that's all. Thank you very much. If you have any question, you can contact me or contact our Department of Technical Support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pablo. And then we are at the last innovation pitch, last tool pitch of this afternoon. I give the floor to Jos Noordzee from Demo Consultants, who will present the tool of RE Suite. Jos, you should be able to share your screen now.
Thank you very much. All right, you're seeing my screen?
Yes, perfect.
Great. Okay, I'm going to give a very short pitch. Oh, it's already going. About our BIMSpeed tool that we developed, the Inhabitants crowdsourcing app. And just to give a very short description of this tool, the aim of this app is to collect data of existing buildings from the inhabitants, so from the people who live there. Because not all data can be gathered just through scanning or something. There's also like personal experience data involved. I'm seeing now that it's it's automatically proceeding. That's not very useful. Sorry for that. So the way we do this is we make a question list for the inhabitants, and we can distribute them towards them, and they can respond to this question list using a freely downloadable mobile app. And this app also includes some BIM functionality to be able to relate the answers that they give to spaces in the BIM model. So you can use the BIM model to enhance your analysis. And I have to get rid of my own face here. Okay, so who can use the tool? The Inhabitants crowdsourcing app can be used by any stakeholder involved in renovation projects who need to collect data of existing buildings to perform analysis and to define their renovation strategies. And just to quickly give you an overview of how it works, there's two parts related to the software. On the left-hand side here, you see the questionnaire management part. This is where the stakeholders who are looking to collect the data, they create question lists, and they upload the BIM model, and they register their buildings, and then they distribute the questionnaire towards the inhabitants. And on the right-hand side, you see the mobile app, which is used by the inhabitants. And they can download it from the App Store. They get an overview of all questions. They can obviously answer their questions, relate their answers to BIM models, and then sync the results to send it to the server. And our tool is called RE Suite. It's available from the BIMSpeed platform. You see it here. And if you can follow that link, or you can just go to this URL, and then you enter our this page where you log into the BIMSpeed environment. You will need these credentials, so BIMSpeed, and the password is renovation. All this information is also available through the training materials that we have provided on the training website, so it will also be available there. But to log into our software, you will need to have a personal user account, and you can get one just by emailing us. There's a email address over here, info@demowp.nl. But if you just want to take a quick look, you can log in using these credentials here at the bottom. Jay Smith, and welcome to RE Suite, and you can have a look around. So again, everything about the tool is explained in this training video. It teaches you how to set up a questionnaire, how to link BIM models, how to distribute your question lists, and so take a look over there. Now, what you will need to do as someone who is setting up a questionnaire is the following. First, you create a question list. You will need to register your renovation objects, so your building. You will need to register the individual dwellings inside the building. You will need to create user accounts for the inhabitants. This is a semi-automated process, which makes it very easy and fast for you. You need to upload a BIM model. Important is that this BIM model needs corresponding address information for the dwellings inside, because there's a relation between the addresses in the BIM model and the user accounts of the inhabitants. Then you will obviously need to invite your inhabitants to fill in this question list, and also give them their personal login information. And also important that inhabitants who want to use this tool, they will need an iPad. At this moment, we only have iPads supported, and not yet Android. Again, every step that I mentioned here is explained in the training video, so please have a look over there. Then there's the inhabitant part, but I will tell you now what he will need to do. First, he will download the app from the App Store. You need to log in, obviously. They will need to provide some consent to share their data, and then it's just a matter of filling in questions and handing the question list. So for the inhabitant, it will start something like this. You probably have to send them a letter telling them that you are doing a renovation project and you are interested in their experience of the building, and also give them some credentials. This is the login page of the iPad app, and this is the user consent page. So this is where they have to confirm that they are okay with sharing their data towards the project. And then this is a bit like, this is what it looks like when they're answering questions. You have the possibility to ask questions about different themes. So in the gray bars, you see the different themes of the questions of this question list. There are questions about how they perceive the light in their building, some background questions, questions about how they perceive sound in their building, how they perceive indoor climate, things about water, ventilation, and yeah, if you tap one of these themes, then you see all the questions of the themes underneath. And yeah, it's just very easy to tap through all the questions, provide your answers, and then at the end, at the bottom right-hand side, there's just a button to submit. And as mentioned, there's also BIM functionality involved, because especially the questions about personal comfort is strongly related to different spaces. For every space, the inhabitants can have a different perception of comfort regarding to temperature, drafts, light, acoustics, etc. So that's why this BIM, that's where this BIM functionality really comes into play handily, because you will know which space scores how well in certain aspects, and that obviously helps you to analyze the data that you received and really get a good spatial idea of the distribution of problematic areas, so where you will need to focus on. Also, yeah, what you'll see here is that when an inhabitant opens up their personal questionnaire, then they will see only their house in the BIM model. So the entire BIM model is filtered to just show their dwelling, so they cannot see the house of their neighbors. And that's why it's important that when you upload a BIM model, that every space has the correct address information available. It's also possible to add some extra observations for the inhabitants. They can just type extra text. They can also add photos, which you can analyze afterwards. And then when the inhabitants are done to fill in the questionnaire, you as the manager, information manager, will have access to all these answers from our suite. This also is again explained in the training video, but just to give a very quick overview, you will see here again all the questions ordered by themes, which you can quickly look through. And then there's also the possibility to export all the answer data towards the BIMSpeed platform, just by hitting this button here. And then all the information is also available directly from the BIMSpeed platform as text files. So you'll see that per questionnaire theme, there is a file here containing all the answers of all the inhabitants who have responded, who have given you their data. They're just simple text files. There's also one file that contains everything, and the extents or the inside of these text projects is just JSON, so it's very easily parsable, and it's ordered per theme, per question, and then per respondent. So, for example, here this is the theme light. The question is, how do you perceive the light in this room? And then you see for all the inhabitants who responded, you see their answer. And yeah, that's our 5-minute pitch. So feel free to start using our tool and let us know what you think. And if you need any help, feel free to contact us. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jos, for the presentation, and thank you to all speakers for presenting their different tools. I think both for the live audience, but especially for the recording that will be uploaded onto the BIMSpeed website, the competition page. I think this provides a clear overview on how to use the different tools that can be used within the competition for the participants. Now we are running over time, but if there's any question from the audience, you can use the chat function at your right bottom of your screen. I'm not sure if there will be a question. If If not, then I think because we have gone 10 minutes over time for the total session already, I suggest we close it. Thank you again to all the speakers, and thank you to the attendees who attended. If you have any questions regarding the BIMSpeed competition, again, go to our website. You can also contact us. There are the contact details on there. So thank you, everyone. And hereby we end the info session.
Thank you, Jasper.
Thank you.
Thank you.